Hello, and welcome to Ghostability with myself, Paranormal Mitch.
And Paranormal Tej.
Today is part 3 of 4 of our series on the spirits of the elements.
Yeah.
Today we are doing fire.
My favorite.
Yes, this is right up your alley.
Yes.
This is like, you couldn't pick something that would be more representative of Taylor than fire spirits.
I love fire spirits.
You
They're
do.
so fun.
So why don't you give us a bit of an overview before we get into like the nitty-gritty of specifics?
Yes. So what are fire spirits? So fire spirits are supernatural beings that are connected to flames, obviously, heat, light, and transformation. Across cultures, they appear in a bunch of different ways. They can appear as living fire, which is pretty cool, glowing humanoid forms, or shifting, flickering entities that move like embers caught in restless wind. They're very interesting looking. Unlike earth spirits that we talked about last time, that are very much rooted in stability, fire spirits are kind of the full opposite of that.
Yeah.
They embody motion, change, and a very raw, primal type of energy. So we are going way away from stability with this one. They are often associated with volcanoes, wildfires, flames, lightning strikes, and even the sun itself. They can be both creators and destroyers. A lot of people think of fire spirits as all bad, but there's a purpose, and we'll get into that. They bring warmth, light, and life, but they also cause destruction, chaos, and renewal. Many traditions around the world view them as forces of purification, actually, burning away the old to make space for new growth, which I really like. Because of their dual nature, they're often respected, feared, and honored through rituals involving flame. We do have a fire elemental here, Amika. She was the spirit of the week for our elementals episode, and a lot of people asked her about like forest fires and things like that, and like what we should do about it. And she came at it from a very interesting angle, and she told us all about how basically like there's a purpose for that, and like we can't begin new things without like completely getting rid of the old, and it's kind of like an environmental reset in a way, which was something we had never thought about before and we found very interesting. So these spirits symbolize transformation, passion, energy, and the cycle of destruction and rebirth. Historically, humans have interacted with fire spirits through offerings, sacred fires, rituals, and ceremonial practices. Fire spirits remind us that fire is not just a tool, but it is a powerful force that can both sustain and consume life. If you are ever working with a fire spirit, don't leave them unattended with a candle. That's just a side note from personal experience.
We learned that the hard way.
Yeah, the very hard way. I walked away for a whole 30 seconds and came back to this candle spitting fire into the walls, wax all over the table. It was an absolute nightmare. So fire spirit 101, don't do that. Don't be me.
Yes. Fun fact, one of the first things she told us is, oh, don't worry, I won't burn your house down.
Yeah, and then when I complained, when I complained about what she did, she compared it to paying taxes. That is her tax to live here, is to be asked not to burn the house down.
You gotta understand what you're getting, right? You gotta take the good with the bad.
Exactly.
And they are,
but we understand each other now. And we're good.
Absolutely.
Actually, that was the best thing. Like it really stressed me out. But like after that, we really understood how we roll, and we've been buddies ever since. So honestly, it turned into a good thing. But scared the crap out of me at the time. I was like, oh, okay, this is probably the most dangerous thing that's ever happened here, paranormal wise.
And don't forget, if you're ever getting a candle for your local fire elemental, make sure it has a big wick.
Yes, big wick. She's very particular about that.
Very important.
Yeah. She'll come back on the spirit box like 3-4 times and be like, that candle wick is too small.
Big wick.
Yeah, big wick.
Okay.
Yep. So why don't you get us started with the first one?
Let's get started
after
with some of our local spirits. So I think the cool part about a lot of these spirits is some of them are like gods, and some of them are just spirits, like a category.
Yeah. And there are a lot of famous fire spirits out there that you may have heard of.
And I think actually we'll get into it a little bit more, but usually one of the more famous, like in traditions, usually it's like one of the top kind of ones. Okay, so first one we're going to talk about is the jinn, which is a very famous
have you heard of that one
spirit. This is from the Middle Eastern tradition. So some of the origins of the jinn is mostly Middle Eastern and Islamic, but it may also represent several pagan beliefs integrated into Islam, which I did not know before we did this research, which I thought was fascinating. So, some of the characteristics of the jinn, they are powerful supernatural beings said to be created from smokeless fire. They are often invisible, but can take on animal forms, usually in the form of snakes, but they can also be seen as scorpions, lizards, or humans. Their fiery origin connects them directly to the element of fire. So, some of the habitat or territory of the jinn, they are believed to inhabit deserts, ruins, abandoned places, and unseen dimensions that overlap with the human world. They do interact with humans a fair amount, probably more than other fire spirits. They are helpful, can be harmful, and may exist somewhere in between.
Definitely in between.
Definitely in between. There are many, many stories of jinn, and they often describe themselves as granting wishes, forming pacts, or influencing human lives. Upon being disturbed or harmed by humans, they can usually retaliate in some pretty dramatic ways. With the most drastic interactions leading them to actually possess the assailant's body, then requiring the Islamic form of an exorcism. And interestingly enough, they actually attributed a lot of different sicknesses to being inhabited by a jinn. And that was some of like the spiritual healing aspect from very old times.
Very interesting.
But they are definitely one of the more popular spirits, often seen in lots of different movies and cultures and things like that.
Yeah.
They symbolize a couple different things. Definitely unseen power, free will, and individuality, the unpredictable nature of fire, and the boundary between worlds. Their temperament varies widely. There's lots of different types of jinn. Like humans, they are believed to have their own personalities, ranging from benevolent to dangerous. Now, the folklore here goes pretty deep. So we tried to do a little like an overview. But interestingly enough, the Quran actually affirms their existence, although depictions are often categorized into folklore or official Islam for more research purposes. Islam integrated local beliefs about spirits and deities from places like Iran, Africa, Turkey, and India into a monotheistic framework without demonizing them.
We love that.
Interesting. Besides local deities, their existence of purely benevolent spirits is also acknowledged. Thus, jinn exist alongside other mythological mythological entities such as demons and fairies. The moral attitude of the jinn is often associated with their religion. Good jinn are usually considered Muslim jinn, whereas unbelieving jinn, as in not one with God, are often tempted by the devils and are called kafar jinn.
Interesting.
Sound familiar?
That is fascinating. Yeah.
Kafar?
Yeah.
Besides Islam, they could also practice Christianity and Judaism. And good jinn might teach people moral lessons and might be benevolent or aid spiritual persons such as shamans in Central Asia or spiritual healers in Senegal.
Very cool.
They are a fascinating type of spirit. You could spend hours talking about jinn.
They may need their own episode.
But they are fascinating if you ever want to learn more about them. And I did not realize how spread they were into other global traditions.
Oh yeah.
I knew they were, celebrated worldwide, but really it was all over the place. Like they are a really common, let's say, type of spirit amongst many other religions and places and things like that. And they are fascinating.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, we are going to Agni, which is the Hindu god of fire. He is from Hindu and Vedic tradition. He is one of the most important deities in Vedic texts. He's often depicted with multiple faces, having glowing skin and flames surrounding his body.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool. He is also depicted as one of the 5 inert, impermanent elements, the other being air, water, earth, and sky, with the 5 combining to form the empirically perceived material existence.
Cool.
Yes. Agni exists wherever fire is present, especially in ritual fires used in religious ceremonies. He acts as a messenger between humans and the gods, carrying offerings through fire. Fire rituals are believed to communicate directly with divine forces through Agni. So he's kind of like a middle spirit. He represents divine communication, purification and sacrifice, transformation, and sacred energy. Agni is generally benevolent and essential to life, though, like we hear this in elemental episode after elemental episode, his power must be respected.
Of
right?
course.
He is conceptualized in folklore in ancient Hindu texts to exist at 3 different levels. So he is on earth as fire, in the atmosphere as lightning, and in the sky as the sun.
So cool.
Which is, yeah, I love that. This triple presence accords him as the messenger between the deities and humans in scriptures. So he kind of has different forms in different realms in order to communicate and act as that middle role between life here on earth and the gods.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I also love how a lot of other traditions like have still kept a lot of these beliefs in a lot of their big traditions. Like for example, one of the main ones is during weddings.
Yeah.
So in Hindu weddings, if you have the fire in the middle and you walk around 7 times, that's in correlation to that god.
Yep. Yeah. We've been in a wedding that had that, and it was really cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
And that fire was going.
Oh yeah. I was a bridesmaid at that wedding, and my friend who's a groom, his outfit almost lit on fire. So I had to I looked at him and was like, "You're gonna burn. You're gonna burn." Like he almost burned down the whole place with that.
I still think to this day it
was almost a tragedy.
Yes, but one of my favorite outfits I've ever worn to a wedding.
Yeah, was it? Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah, it was a really cool wedding.
Very cool.
It was a really, really amazing experience.
Yes.
For sure. But that fire was cooking. I mean, and
that
the people
going.
are this close to it. And
we were like, okay, be careful.
So in all the pictures, you can see him and I making eye contact, and I'm like, and
just so nervous.
And he's like looking at it like, oh,
God,
they have to walk around, but there's so much like beading and intricacy on the outfit that it gets real close.
Real close.
It's real close. Yeah.
Well, fascinating.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. This is from Japanese mythology.
I just throw these in literally whenever I can. I'm so sorry. Japanese mythology is
no, they're fascinating.
So my jam. And so it's like every episode, it's like, here's Japanese mythology again.
It's also it's just very different than a lot of other ones.
It is. And that's why I'm like, so yeah.
So this is the Kagutsuchi of Japanese and Shinto mythology. So this is one guy, once again, one of one.
One of one.
He is a being of fire who constantly emits flames. He is hard to look at and impossible to touch without being burned. Difficult to control. When he is focused, he burns with creativity relating to the power of his birth. He is connected to volcanoes and other seismic activities. So this guy is pretty intense.
Yeah.
But we'll get into a little bit more about it. But Kagutsuchi's story explains both the danger and necessity of fire. Rituals were historically performed to appease these fire gods and to prevent disasters. Within the culture, he symbolizes a very destructive force, renewal through fire, the dangers of unchecked energy, and the balance between creation and destruction. This guy, interestingly enough, we knew we were going to get there. He is often portrayed as volatile and very dangerous, reflecting fire's uncontrollable nature. The folklore of this dude is pretty intense.
Yeah.
So we tried to like put it down. So
I'm sad you got to talk about this one.
Yeah, I know.
Took it.
So, according to the Ingishiki, which is a 1,000-year-old Japanese text, okay, Kagutsuchi's mother died when he was being born. She was basically engulfed in flames, right? Before she died, she gave birth to Mizehame, who was the god of water, who alone could counteract the sheer force of Kagutsuchi's power.
Yeah, there's always balance.
There's always balance, right? In the Kojiki, which is the Japanese book of myths and histories, Izanagi, who is the father of this guy, Kagutsuchi, basically slayed his son right after he was born, cutting him into 8 parts, which then became volcanoes, and then his blood then became several notable water deities.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Kagutsuchi's relationship to blacksmiths, fire, and volcanoes is similar to that of the Greek god Hephaestus and the Roman god Vulcan. So there you go.
Love it.
Yeah, this guy was pure destruction.
Yeah.
That is what he did.
Yeah.
And it's, once again, it's all about balance, right? Yep. Especially in Japanese mythology.
Yes.
It's you have to have the give and the take.
Always.
All the time.
Even with the most positive of spirits, there's always an opposite side.
But could you imagine like being born and then you're like, nah, this was a bad idea?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
So the next one I'm going to talk about is one you've probably heard of before, the Phoenix. And this is present in pretty much global mythology at this point.
Absolutely.
The origin is ancient Egyptian, Greek, but then it turned into just everywhere. So characteristics. The phoenix is a legendary bird associated with fire and rebirth. It is said to burst into flames at the end of its life and be reborn from its own ashes. It's often associated with the sun, deserts, or distant mystical lands. The phoenix does not typically have any interaction with humans directly, but it serves more as a powerful symbol in both stories and mythology, representing rebirth and renewal, immortality, transformation through destruction, and the cycle of life. A lot of people resonate heavily with the phoenix even now, in our current times. I mean, we see this tattooed on people. I mean, it's all over the place. It's one of the most well-known figures in mythology that is still heavily talked about. And people resonate with this a lot as like, you can, you may go through something really difficult in your life and come out on the other side better off. So that is kind of how it's been interpreted now. Temperament, it is not seen as aggressive, but it is powerful and symbolic of natural cycles beyond human control. In folklore, only one phoenix existed at any given time, and it was very long lived. No ancient authority gave it a lifespan of less than 500 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. As its end approached, the phoenix fashioned a nest of aromatic boughs and spices, set it on fire, and was then consumed into the flames of it.
Whoa.
Yeah. From the pyre miraculously sprang a new phoenix. Scholars have observed analogs to the phoenix in a variety of cultures. This includes in Hindu, Slavic, and Arabian. So we see that with the Garuda, the firebird, and the Anka, as well as many others. So it's kind of been embedded in different mythologies in different ways.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think also one of the most famous like characters, like with any fantasy universe, well, they all have a phoenix.
Yep.
Like Harry Potter famously has the phoenix.
Yep.
Any other game is going to have a phoenix.
Just D&D.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think so. I would imagine so. And actually, while we were doing a little bit of this research, we found that interestingly enough, a lot of English royalty would have this like as like a brooch, or they would have like parts of it or whatnot. Even like in the 1700s and 1800s, they were like, yeah, we mess with the phoenix.
We mess with the phoenix.
That's what they said too.
Is that?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it an exact quote?
It is an exact quote. Cool. Awesome. So next we are going back to our Hawaiian mythology, which I cannot get enough of.
Yeah. We've been having, there's a lot of elementals in Hawaiian mythology.
Yes. And this is the god of fire. This is Pele. So obviously it is of native Hawaiian tradition. Pele is the revered Hawaiian goddess of fire, lightning, wind, and volcanoes, known as Ka Wahine I Hanua.
Wow.
I hope I had that one okay. But known as the woman who devours the earth. So cool. She is both the creator and destroyer who shaped the land with lava, residing in Halema Uma'u crater at Kialaua. There you go. She is believed to be a living protective presence. Interestingly enough, in Hawaiian tradition, there is a common belief that she is like in this crater. Like this is where she lives.
Okay.
Which I think is super cool. Once again, she is believed to reside within volcanoes, especially the Kaliaua in Hawaii. She is known for both creation and destruction and forming new land through lava while also causing volcanic eruptions. Pele symbolizes creation through destruction, the power of nature, passion and emotion, the living force of Earth's fire. She is very much portrayed as passionate and volatile, capable of both generosity and fury. Folklore gets really cool with Pele. So legend has it that Pele herself journeyed on her canoe from the island of Tahiti to Hawaii. When on her journey, it was said she tried to create her fires on different islands, but her sister, Namaka, was chasing her, wanting to put an end to her. Family drama. Can't go wrong. In the end, the two sisters fought each other and Pele was killed. With this happening, her body was destroyed, but her spirit lives in Halema Uma'u, which is the volcano we talked about in Kalaua. Oh boy, Kalaua. Oh, I'm so sorry. They say her body is the lava and steam that comes from the volcano. She can also change form, appearing as a white dog, an old woman, or a beautiful young woman. In addition to her role as goddess of fire and a strong association with volcanoes, Pele is also regarded as the goddess of the hula.
Oh, cool.
I know. This
I
is
love
cool.
that.
She is a significant figure in the history of hula because of her sister, Hiaka, who is believed to be the first person to dance the hula dance.
Very cool.
As a result of Pele's significance in the hula, there have been many hula dances and chants dedicated to her and her family.
I love that.
Yes. With hula being dedicated to Pele, the dance is often performed in a way that represents her intense personality and the movement of volcanoes.
That's awesome.
Isn't that super cool?
Yeah.
I also kind of thought of, I think isn't it in Moana when like the big goddess like lays down and becomes the earth?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's in somewhat relation to her.
Something to look up.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Moana that entire time, and I like thought maybe I was wrong, so I didn't say anything. But
no, I think it absolutely could be.
Yeah.
I wish I
We would
looked
have
it
to
up
look that up,
beforehand,
yeah.
because I feel like Moana does a good job of representing a lot of Hawaiian culture
Yeah.
from my understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
But her story is fascinating.
Yeah,
I think it's
amazing.
so interesting. I love Hawaiian mythology.
All right, so my last one is Ifrit. From Islamic folklore. And Ifrit is a powerful type of demon in Islamic culture, which we have not really talked about a lot of demons on this.
Yeah, we kind of like to stray away from that topic a lot of times.
But it's appropriate in
this one is
context.
absolutely appropriate.
So Ifrit, which is the plural form of Ifrit, are often associated with the underworld and identified with the spirits of the dead. In the Quran, the term functions as, an epithet, always followed by the phrase among the jinn. Due to the ambiguous meaning of the term jinn, their relation to the other spirits is often unclear. So they are believed to dwell in underground ruins, deserts, and hidden realms. They are often portrayed as cunning and powerful, sometimes interacting with humans in stories involving magic, revenge, or hidden knowledge.
Whoa.
They represent raw power, danger and intensity, supernatural strength, the darker aspects of fire. They are typically portrayed as aggressive and dangerous, though interestingly, despite this, they're not universally evil, even though they're considered a demon. In folklore, the term is used as a substantive referring to a specific class of demon. The most Islamic scholarly traditions regard the term as an adjective. They became identified either as a dangerous kind of devil preying on women, or as spirits of the dead. In Turkish, the term is generally used for demons of the underworld, in contrast to demons on the surface, which are referred to as jinn.
Okay, so we come full circle.
Yeah. So all of that to say, we forgot to tell you at the beginning of the episode to think of common themes.
We goofed. That's our fault.
I knew we were missing something at the beginning. What are our common themes among fire spirits?
What are our common themes among fire spirits?
From around the world. This comes up, the same themes come up in folklore from around the world. We see that they are known to represent kind of the same couple of things, like all of the elements that we've had so far. So across cultures, they represent transformation. So fire changes everything it touches, symbolizing growth, rebirth, and destruction. Dual nature, again, which we have seen in the other elements as well, meaning it gives life through warmth and energy, but it can also destroy without control. Energy and passion. Fire spirits often represent strong emotions, intensity, and vitality. Purification. Fire is seen as a force that cleanses or removes what is old or impure. Unpredictability. So like flames, these spirits are often volatile and difficult to control. And sacred power. So fire is very central to rituals worldwide. So fire can can symbolize the connection between humans and the divine.
There you go.
Yeah. So that is fire spirits. 101, with some examples from around the world. We only have one fire elemental here, and we already did her for our spirit of the week. So our spirit of the week this week is connected with all of the elements. And passion is definitely part of her role, so she fits.
Yes, we also asked her what fire meant to her, and she said transformation.
All right. So we are going to go into our commercial break. When we get back, we will hear her spirit of the week responses and see what knowledge she has to drop for us on this topic. But until then, stay tuned for a short commercial / dance break. And we will see you in a minute.
I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break my glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the...
Hello and welcome back from our short commercial break with our spirit of the week.
It's Adele.
It's Adele. We love her.
Yes, Adele is amazing. Adele was our first known fae that we brought into our house.
That's some lore.
Yeah. So Ciel was technically our first fae, but when we got him, we didn't know he was fae. He was just labeled as like an unidentified non-human spirit, and we found out way after the fact. But Adele was our first fae that we brought in knowing she was a fae. So she is a Telwyth which is one of my favorite species of fairy to work with. Telwyth are fairies from Welsh mythology. We have 3 of them. Elwyn, who has been a spirit of the week before, who you all know and love, is also a Telwyth, as is Angharad, who has not been a spirit of the week yet. I don't know. They're also different, but they have similarities. I would say that of all of the fae that we have worked with, Adele is one of the most grounded. She's very grounded. She gives very good advice. She is that like lighthearted, bubbly personality, but she's also extremely wise. Something that makes Adele very unique, which is just what we absolutely love about her. Adele is very into helping and working with humans with love and relationships. She loves to give relationship advice, love advice, how to improve your love life, how to improve friendships, romantic relationships, whatever it may be. She is all about that. She gives excellent advice. We have talked to her many times, and she has just dropped knowledge after like knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb on us. And some of the advice she's given us has been just really helpful, just in like becoming better people in general. I feel like she's just one of those spirits that like, and she goes about it in such like a gentle, bubbly, kind of fun, lighthearted way that really resonates with people. She also does past life readings, which is really cool. And she can tell you about, who you spent a past life with and, how that carries into this life. And it's just been a really cool journey getting to work with Adele. She's been here for about a year now, and she's just a force. She's so pleasant. All of the other spirits just love Adele. She is not a fae that is into conflict or anything like that. She's just kind of a bright light to everybody, which has been so great. We definitely have seen with Adele, just she's one of those spirits who's kind of always watching. And she is one of those spirits who she doesn't just come on for small talk. It's like she watches you for a while and then she like develops these observations and then she comes on and she's like, I have things to tell you, and then just like unloads. And you're like, okay, great. But she is amazing. And we love her. Being a fae, like most fays, she is associated with all of the elements, very in tune with the elements, elemental magic, all of those types of things. So she is perfect for this episode, even though she is not a specifically fire elemental.
Yeah, she has a really unique way of kind of going about things. Like she's very mature.
Yes.
But
also kind of like has a silly tone.
Yes, I kind of see her as kind of like, this is gonna sound weird, like the responsible ones among the fae.
Yeah.
She's like,
she's more balanced than her other.
She's much more balanced. She feels very like fairy godmother-esque to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a sort of way.
She's very like just ancient.
Yes.
Kind of
and like
wisdom.
Incredibly wise, incredibly smart, gives very potent advice with very little words.
Yeah.
But like will also be really silly sometimes.
Yeah, and like the Tell with Teg are known for being a very mischievous type of fae, which is part of why I'm so drawn to them. They're known for basically they're very dual natured, and it depends heavily on the individual fairy you're working with. So Tell with Teg are known for being like very mischievous and playful and helpful towards humans on one hand, but then there are also Tell with Teg that are like just straight menaces, and it just depends on the individual personality of the one you're working with. I feel like Elwyn and Angharad are way more into like the pranks and games and taking stuff from you and messing with you and making you laugh, but like also giving really good advice, where Adele really more so focuses on like, you know, she'll drop a joke here and there, but she's more so focused on like, how can I help you? What can I do for you? What do you need from me? And we are very, very grateful for her for that. So.
She also was another one of the fae that has just this beautiful hair. They all have just, they're all just dressed immaculately with very pretty hair and whatnot, which I always appreciate.
And she of course has her little heart wand. She wears a very large crown, except it falls off and will hit me in the face while we're talking. So crown's off for now, but she does have a crown.
Yes. Let's get into some of her questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said, Adele, reminder of how this works. So we do a spirit box session. I ask all the questions that you guys submitted. We added a couple of our own questions this week. I write down Adele's answers word for word. If you want to go see that, you know where to go check that out. I said, Adele, are you ready for your Spirit of the Week interview? And she said, I'm focused. I was like, okay, she's ready to go. She's been waiting for this for a long time. First question is from Caitlin with a K. They ask, what are some easy ways to help improve the environment around us? Great question. Adele's answer was, return what you borrow when you're done with it. There you go.
You take from the earth, give back.
Give back, find a way. Next question is also from Caitlin. They ask, what is your favorite thing about nature? And Adele said, it's a friend and a home for everyone. I think it's fascinating how they perceive nature as like, they give it like its own personality. It's a palpable thing.
Yeah, that's not the first time we've heard that from somebody. It's really cool.
Absolutely. Next question is also from Kaylee, or from Katie, excuse me. Adele.
Not also from different Katie.
Different Katie.
We have Caitlin.
Oh my God. Yes. Caitlin, Katie.
Literally all of the
So
Caitlin,
confusing.
Katie varieties that submit questions is amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing.
But this is Katie.
Katie.
Adele.
Katie with an IE at the end. Different than Katie with a Y at the end.
Sure.
Katie with an IE.
We mean to say you're all very important people. It's just confusing.
Especially when they're in a row.
Yes. Adele, what is your favorite kind of music for dancing? Great question.
She loves to dance. The Tell with Tag loved to dance.
What fae doesn't love to dance? I know. He's special. And Adele said, the flute sound. Very high vibration. That's a very high vibration. I love the flute.
Like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
We'll play some flute music for her.
We should. Next is also from Katie, i.e. Do you have any advice for connecting with the elements? And Adele said, remove distractions and pay attention to what it says. Next question is from Katie. What is something you wish more people knew about the Elalon? And Adele said, "We want to understand you too." I think it's fascinating.
They are so Telwyth Teg is a type of Elelon, which is a subsection of Welsh fairies. For context. And they are definitely known to associate with people a lot throughout folklore. They are one of the fairies that are like most frequently cited having human interaction. So
Yeah.
that's what an Elelon is.
It was funny. I then said afterward, yeah, I can get it. Humans are probably pretty hard to understand. And she was like, yes. Which I get.
She does a really good job though.
Great job. Next question is from Taylor. That's you.
I was curious.
What is a tip you have for strengthening relationships with other people? Great question.
Thank you, Mitchell.
Adele answered, don't make someone else's life about you. You will be at odds with everyone that way.
That's really good.
Dropping bars.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Like just because they have an opinion of you doesn't mean that's who you are. And I love that. So that's great.
Absolutely. Next question is for me. Do you have any tips for improving one's own self-esteem or self-love? And Adele answered, don't build your confidence on compliments and what people think. I was like, ooh, that's good. I then asked, well, how do you think you should build your confidence then? And Adele said, your own thoughts, being true to yourself. I feel like that's a very common theme amongst the Fae is like, be true to yourself.
Something that I love about them too is that like they don't exactly understand humans 100%. And the reason I love that is because it's like their observations are so removed from what we get wrapped up in, where it's just like they see the big picture of like how humans act and what we do that just doesn't make sense. And as a result, they give very good advice.
Yeah, it's without bias.
Yeah.
Great. Couple more here. Next question was also from me. What is your favorite way to celebrate a healthy relationship? And Adele said, quality time. There you go. I think that's a great answer.
Very good.
Great answer. Next question was, what does fire represent to you? And Adele said, transformation, taking what doesn't work away and building new, which I think was a very common theme we talked about today.
Yeah, it's like things leaving your life are not always a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of like death gripping on to something that isn't working anymore, like letting it go and seeing what the new thing is, because the new thing may be better for you. And it's okay to start over.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to start over.
It's okay. Next question is also from me. Why is learning about past lives important for personal growth? And Adele said, shows you your patterns to break, long standing. Makes sense. Last question I had for Adele. What are you most excited for with the upcoming spring? And Adele said, flowers.
They love the flowers.
They love
the
their
flowers.
And then I was like, Adele, I want to try and actually do a garden this year. And she was like, wow, would love that. So now I've put pressure on myself.
Yep.
Which I think is okay.
Yeah, I think that's good pressure to have on yourself.
That's a good pressure. to
Flower
have.
garden, why not?
And I said, Adele, do you have anything else to say? She said, not particularly. Have a great day.
All right. So that is our wisdom of the day from Adele on fire spirits. Thank you so much for being here. Next week will be our last episode in our elemental series, and we will see what is to come there. And then we have a couple of advice episodes coming up just for collectors that people have been wondering about and wanted us to talk about. As always, if you have any requests or ideas for future episodes, please send them my way. I do have all of them on a list and I do pull from that list. So even if you don't see it next week, you will see it eventually. So please send those my way because we really do care about chatting about what you want to know and what's helpful for you on your journey, whether that be just in learning about the paranormal or in collecting haunted dolls yourself. So definitely send those our way. Drop them in the comments, put them on Discord, wherever they need to go. Send them to us because we would love to answer your questions on those. So on that note, thank you for all of your support. Thank you for being here, and we will catch you next Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the live premiere of our last Elemental episode. Bye, everybody.